to help. We have a video coming up where we help 2,000 people walk again. So there we helped dozens of people get prosthetic legs and walk for the first time. Then I flew to Guatemala and spent 2 days there helping more people walk again. Then we flew to Ecuador, spent 2 days in Ecuador to help hundreds of people walk again. Then we flew from Ecuador to Florida to help hurricane victims, Florida to Raleigh to do the zero gravity space thing. And then from Raleigh back to Dubai, which is because the Burj Khalifa wasn't ready when I went there the first time. So I had to fly all the way back just to stand on top of the Burj Khalifa. And then after that, we flew. I mean, it was, I didn't like sleep in my own bed for like 2 months. I mean, I was just flying.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like because, and before that, it was 45 to 60 days of just straight filming for the Amazon show. So it was like, in which we didn't film that in my hometown. We filmed that in Canada. So I was like, I remember coming back to my bed after all this travel and I was just like, is this my house? I was like shocked. I was like, is this my table? This is my dog. I have a dog. How's he going?
Dude, that's a lot of work. That's why you are where you are. But tell me the whole process. How do you plan this thing? This series I'm talking about, specifically the Beast Games, right?
Oh boy.
Like give me like step by step, how many steps are involved. Obviously you can't tell everything because it will take like 5 days.
Well, that's
but give me like the short version because it's insane to think. And the other thing is you don't even know whether it'll perform or no. So how do you proof check that?
I know,
in your
right?
head?
Isn't that crazy?
Right?
Like I threw everything. We put everything I have into this. Like,
and how do you check it? Like at every point, oh, this will work, this will not work, because
you have to have blind faith. You have to have, that's the thing. I don't know, right? Technically, I don't know if this will perform or not, but I lost a lot of money filming this outside of the money they gave me. Like I said, I threw all my people at it.
How much money did you lose? Okay, give me that.
Tens of millions. Like I poured tens of millions on top of the money I was given to make this work.
So you didn't make any money out of it?
Oh, no. I would have way more money if I never filmed it. Like way more money.
Why do you do, I mean, let it be. Like, I think tons of podcasts have asked you the same question.
Because the goal here is to make the greatest show possible. It's not to make money, right? Like which you can see when you watch it. Like you can tell, like the goal is just to make phenomenal content. But yeah, so obviously step one is you just like, I've wanted to do this for years, but we just kind of had to figure out what would make this different than a typical reality challenge show. Because one thing I think you might have noticed when you're watching is like, if you watch normal reality shows, like they do a lot of cutaways and takeaways. So like something will happen and they cut to someone like in a room, like, you know, that they filmed after the show and get their thoughts on it, which I don't like. There's a lot of things that normal reality shows do that I didn't like. And so step one was like, how are we going to be different, right? Just like on YouTube, we didn't do what everyone else did. We formed our own lane. I wanted to figure that out. So, watched quite a few reality shows and just took notes on like, I don't like that they do this. I don't like that this, I don't like that. And then once we kind of figured out like what I think first principles wise would be an optimal reality show. Like, again, I don't care what other people do. What do we think a 21st century reality challenge show should look like? Once we, kind of wrote those principles out, then, wrote the whole thing, rewrote the whole thing, which this wasn't me. I have a phenomenal team of people who do a lot of this because obviously I'm also still grinding YouTube 25 days a month, filming and everything we already talked about. So I had to lean on like these just world-class people I have hired. And this
Did
is
you
where
hire anyone specific
for the Amazon.
For this?
Oh yeah. So we, one day on the Amazon show, like as it was leading up to before we were filming, I walked on set, there was over 1,000 people on set, some of them building sets, other of them writing, some of them running cables for the camera. I mean, like it's like absurd. Like, so step one is you got to write it, which I mean, we probably rewrote the show like at least 20 times. I mean, it's like, cause you don't really know what's possible, right? Like at one point I wanted to do this thing that we didn't end up doing, which is like, I wanted to go in a desert and when we had 50 contestants, I wanted to get like 50 machine guns. So picture like 10 machine guns, and then below it, another row of 10 machine guns, another row of 10 machine guns, another row of 10 machine. So like 5 rows of 10 machine guns each. And then I wanted to put like a mannequin really far out in the desert. And then everyone has a different color bullet and be like, all right, everyone shoot that mannequin and get like this cool slow-mo shot with like a phantom camera of everyone just firing these like machine guns, like mounted ones at it. And it's like, okay, 25 of you hit the thing, then they stop. And then we like pull the bullets out of the mannequin. And then what I was gonna do is have those 25 people go up top and there's like a platform above the machine guns. And it was basically what we were going to do is give them a bag of, money. And then at any point in the next 7 days, they could drop that bag, the 25, they press the button, the 25 people at top, and the bag will fall. And then the 25 people that down below, if they shoot it before it hits the ground, they move on. But if they don't, then they're eliminated. And so then it's interesting because I thought this would be like a great episode. It's like, so the 25 people below that are like on these machine guns, like what of the 50 machine guns do they stay mounted on? Like, how do they do cycles? Because you got to sleep and you're going to lose attention. So do you do like 2 sets of 12 or 3 sets of 8 or whatever? And then the people up top, are they going to try to drop the bag at night during the day, and they can drop it on the left side, the right side, and they can see the formation of the people down below. And then we were going to give them like 3 decoy bags so like they could drop them to see like what times the people are paying. I thought this would be really cool. Right. So we have this thing, we put all this planning and effort into it. And then it's like, yeah, you can't just have 50 machine guns spraying in a desert. And so it ends up not happening, and that's not a thing. But so that because we're writing things that have never been done before, you don't know. And so it's a lot of like, I think this is sick, let's do it. And then people are like, that's not possible. And I'm like, figure it out. And they're like, that's not possible. I'm like, figure it out. And they're like, that's not possible. And then I'm like, okay, maybe that's not possible. All right, I'll rewrite it. Yeah, or the team will rewrite it. Not specifically me. I have a phenomenal guy named Tyler who directs or helps me with a lot of the stuff. And so like we legitimately rewrote the show like 20 times.
Here's a hypothetical question. Okay. If it really works and breaks all the records, what would be the one reason why it'll work? And if it really tanks, what do you think will be the reason it'll tank?
The reason why I think it would work is, I mean, we just looked at it from first principles. Like we hired the best in the world to help make the show, that have done the best unscripted stuff. But, we just didn't do things the way they normally do. Like after we finished filming the show, we had we threw this after party to celebrate with the crew. It was great. Everyone's having a good time. I had so many different of our producers and people who worked on the show come up to me and go like, I've worked on unscripted shows for 20 years, decades. And like, they're like, this is the most unscripted show I've ever been on. Like, you guys didn't tell people how to act. You guys just let the contestants, you created this own mini world where the contestants were just them, and you just captured it, and you had the infrastructure to capture, and you didn't make them be people they're not. And like a lot of these things. And, so that's one reason why I think it'll do well. Another is like, no one's ever built sets like these. Like that first set you saw, like you could fit all of Wipeout in there. You could fit all of Jeopardy in there. You could fit all of American Ninja Warrior, all 3 of them in there. And it still wouldn't be as big as that first room. So the grandiose of the sets, I mean, no one's ever had this many contestants. No one's ever had this large cash prize. We gave away more money than any game show in history. But no, I just don't think it will.
Well, I hope so too.
Because I also hope I hope this crushes to a degree where other creators can go, look, Amazon, look, Netflix, like Mr. Beast did well. Like, trust me, I know my audience. Let me make a show. Because right now, the trust in creators on streaming platforms is at an all-time low. Like, a lot of platforms have done stuff with creators, gotten burned. The shows didn't do well. They weren't received well. Like the tomato.
Why do you think it's not working for a lot of creators?
Truthfully, the biggest thing is like a lot of these creators they don't make these kind of big budget things, and then they go into streaming, and then it requires them to scale up like I did, but they don't have that experience. So it just crashes and burns, doesn't feel authentic. But also a lot of them were years ago. I mean, more and more creators are becoming like you have 40 employees now. Like, you know what I mean? Like more creators are becoming entrepreneurs and like building small, medium-sized businesses. And so I actually do think there are a lot of creators now that would do well in streaming. It's just streaming platforms just need to take them serious. And I know a couple of people who, they would kill me if I named them, so I can't name. Like, I know one who did something with the streaming platform. Can't name it. He would kill me. But he was, I was catching up with him while he was working on the show with them, and they'd constantly cut like jokes out and be like, that's not what our audience wants. And it's like, he'd be like confiding in me, and he'd be like, what do they mean? Like, the audience is my audience. Like, this person got good views on YouTube, but like the streaming platform was like making him dumb down his humor, making him pull certain things out. Like, they're like, the execs were kind of just like, and he wasn't really as proud of the final product as he wanted to be. And so it's not only just like getting streaming deals, but then it's also like giving the creators the liberty to like make what they know their audience wants, right? From the streaming platforms. Because like, you could, like, if they gave you a deal, but then they started telling you what questions you need to ask, and like, oh, you need to act this way and blah, blah. And, and then you're like stuck between, well, if I don't listen to them, do I get a season 2 or not? And then you do it, and the show kind of half performs because it's not. And so just like changing how that whole thing works, I think would be great, where creators could just be like, trust me, they trusted Jimmy, look what happened. And then creators get more trust so they can make better shows.
Let's talk about creator economy a little. Okay.
Yep.
What do you think about podcast? What do you think? Is there a future?
Oh, of course. I mean, look at Joe Rogan with the election recently, and him having Trump on and JD Vance, and like being able to like for them to go around the traditional media and just speak directly to their audience through podcasts. Like that was incredibly powerful. Whether or not you agree with their political beliefs or anything, like the fact that they could do that, right? If it wasn't for podcasts, it'll probably be higher when this comes out, but I believe the Trump interview right now is on 50 million views on Joe Rogan, right? Like, how else would Trump have been able to speak to 50 million people? How else would 50 million people have been able to see like a window into his brain, which is